So if you're watching this video, you've probably heard of shadow work and of somatic work. You've probably done the somatic, like nervous system regulation techniques. You've read the work of Peter Levine. You've read books by Bessel van Kolk, and you've did breath work, and you've been shaking your body, and maybe you've screamed into a pillow for once. And you've probably also done like journaling and active imagination. You've got in touch with your parts and your shadow material. And today I want to talk about a bridge between the two. Today I want to talk about somatic shadow work and 3 somatic shadow works techniques that you can use in order to grow towards the life that you want. And these will both enhance your shadow work, and they will also enhance your somatic work. Like if you haven't done shadow work yet, or if you haven't done somatic work yet, these will bridge the two and enhance both. So let's start with the first one. I have a little list here, and the first one is what we call in our emotional release training conversions. The conversions have a very specific intention. Conversions are increasing the resolution of your experience. So you're watching this video right now, and you can imagine a YouTube video that has a very low resolution. You can only see like the silhouette, and you cannot really see a face. And what conversions do, they increase the resolution so you can see all the little details. So conversions do 2 things. They create clarity and they help you relate to the feeling. So what is a conversion? A conversion simply means you're converting, like you're converting a piece of music from MP3 into another format. You're converting a feeling that you have into an image. So you can test this for yourself right now. You can ask yourself the question, if you connect to a part within you that, like in your body, that feels tense or you feel like discomfort. If this part of you, this discomfort you feel in your body, if that was a color, what color would it be? Would it be red, blue, maybe more like white? And if that pain within you, that tension within you, if that was a person, how would it look like? Maybe it's like a grumpy old man. Maybe it's like a child that is crying. Maybe you feel pretty good and you have like a child or like a grown-up man or woman that is like dancing or something like that. So you are converting the feeling into an image in order to increase the resolution. And through increasing the resolution, you see more details. And through seeing more details, you have it's easier for you to relate to the feeling, because what we're doing in emotional release work and what we're doing in somatic shadow work is we are learning to relate to what we normally have a hard time relating to. And this is what this first question does. We're not only like making this feeling like a friend of ours, we're also really trying to get to know that friend. And this is what conversions do. Converting the emotion into a symbol. You can also convert it into a sound, for example. So you can ask yourself, if this tension in my body would make a sound. For example, what am I feeling here in my lower stomach? There's a bit of tension. I'm tuning into that and I'm like, there's a bit of disgust coming up and like a tension here in my throat, which makes sense because the lower stomach and like the hip region is often connected to the throat and to the jaw. So it would make a sound like this, and I could repeat that and convert it in that way. You can also convert it into a movement. If that pain that you feel was a movement, how would it express itself? If this was a song, how would it sound like? Would it be sad, or would it be like angry and uplifting? You can really make this a journaling exercise or like a meditative exercise and explore the different ways of converting the feeling that you have. That is sometimes very vague. Maybe you feel confusion or you feel anxiety that you really don't know where this came from. But what flavor of anxiety is it? Really? If you could taste the anxiety, how would it taste? If the anxiety was a song, how would it sound like? What lyrics would the anxiety have? What story would the anxiety tell? How would it look like if it was a person? I think you get the idea here. So let's move on to the second somatic shadow work technique, and that is dialoguing. So after you've done your conversions, And this is mostly like usable, so to speak, when you are converting a pain that you hold into a part, like into a person, but you can also do that with other kinds of conversions. You're starting a dialogue, what we call a phantom dialogue, with whatever you've converted. So you can actually talk to your pain as if it was a person. And you can do that either with converting that into a part. So like if this pain in my lower stomach was a part, what am I picking up on here? It would be like a very hairy man. Like for some weird reason, I see like a bear man that has like hair all over his face, like a very primal man. And I could start a dialogue with that part. I could ask him, hey, what's your story? What message do you have for me? You can share how you feel towards him. And the cool thing about this is really that this part will send you responses if you're open to it. Like, hey, I'm willing to hear a response. And I don't really, like, I've never been in touch with a bear man within me, but I'm curious to find out what this is about and take you there. So let me ask, like, what's your story? He says, I've been held back for too long and I'm willing to serve you. And I can feel, because, you know, I've done some work with mythology and archetypes, and I can tell like that this hairy man, this is like my lower nature, so to speak. These are like my primal impulses, my sexuality, my anger, all of these like lower, like also that are situated more in the lower stomach. I can actually, as I speak, it's very interesting, I can feel my digestion going. So my nervous system is relaxing. And actually I was just touching my lower stomach. It's actually relaxing. So it can be so simple, you know. And you can do these dialogues also when you haven't converted that into a part, and really just talk to your body, talk to a tension that you feel in your body. Like, hey, tension, I can feel you. I have a tension in my neck, for example, right now. Hey, tension, I can feel you. And I just want to tell you, it's okay. It's okay that you're here. And just want to say, like, I notice you. I'm seeing you. Okay? And I'm putting my finger here to get into a deeper touch with it. And like, yeah. And through that, maybe you can feel it. There's like a relaxing feeling that comes. Because what's important about this is that we dialogue with the 3 C's, which are, firstly, is curiosity. You're going to be curious about your inner experience, or curious about the part that you're dialoguing with. You want to have compassion towards it. That's the second C. So when I was here, I was feeling really, or expressing compassion towards that part while being curious and open, because I don't know what's going on here. And I'm also being courageous, and this is the third C. I'm being courageous towards this, because stepping into tension is never easy. Like, this is kind of uncomfortable to feel this here. Like, I can understand why our bodies are dissociating from our pain, because it takes courage to feel it. And you need that courage in order to start a dialogue. So let's step into the next shadow work, somatic shadow work technique in this video. So you are expressing the pain that you have through movement. I was kind of touching upon that on the conversions aspect, the first technique, but this one is really a technique in of itself, because you can dance yourself, you can move yourself into trance-like states that really, really go deep and that penetrate the layers that you cannot penetrate when you're doing journaling, for example, or that even goes deeper sometimes than doing breath work, because on breath work you're laying on the ground and you're just breathing. But can you really let this feeling move? Can you really start to embody it fully, like the tension? Can you increase the tension? Can you play with the tension? Explore it in your body and let it move through you. So there's 3 rules when it comes to expression through movement. The first one is let it show. You really have to let this tension show in your expression. Like, there's this tension in my neck here, and I'm showing it. Like, I'm showing it to the outside world, to the audience that is not really here. So, I'm showing it. I'm showing it. And then the second rule is you let it flow. So you really like let it flow, because the tensions that we feel, and this is especially evident once we start moving with them, they have like this autonomy's quality. They're kind of doing their own thing. This is what our shadows do, and this is what our bodies do. They're somewhat autonomous. I didn't choose to have tension here. This happened by itself. So it's almost like an autonomous entity, and I can get in touch with that entity through moving my body, through like really, really getting in touch with that and letting it flow, letting it move, and let my body decide where the movement is going. And this might sound strange if you've never done that before. This aspect of let my body decide. Like, what are you even talking about? Trust me, it will make sense. Put on music that you enjoy. Put on music that is in harmony with whatever you're feeling. Obviously, don't put on a sad song if you feel angry. Don't put an angry song when you're sad. Really feel what your body needs. Maybe more activation. Maybe you need more meditative music. Whatever serves you. And then let it grow. That's the third rule. Let it grow, let it expand, let it increase. So at first I'm starting here and I'm like, oh, this tension is moving. And then I'm increasing, like letting it get bigger, and maybe like even including my voice in that. And then you can see like there's the hairy like monster man showing again. I'm not choosing this. Like this is this archetype that I was just talking about in the dialogue. This came to me. And isn't that interesting? I start moving, and the impulse that is coming up with me is being like, moving like a hairy man. And in that way, you can use these three techniques in a somatic shadow work session for yourself. So you can start moving, for example, and you can start a dialogue with that part. You can be like, oh, okay, what do you need from me? Power. I'm making kind of a fool of myself. It's kind of ridiculous, because you have to understand, nobody's in this room except me, and I'm talking to this camera, and sometimes YouTube is ridiculous, but you get the idea, right? I want to be playful here, and at the same time, you can always ask yourself, like if you're in the movement, you can ask yourself, okay, like what other thing can I convert this emotion into? It feels like a heavy stone. Okay, it feels heavy as well, and I can embody the heaviness and maybe hold on for a moment and stop the movement, really letting myself be heavy, and ask the heaviness, what are you trying to tell me? You can let go. This is what the heaviness tells me. And doesn't that make sense? Doesn't that make sense that the heaviness is trying to tell me, let go? I could say now, oh, I feel so heavy, and the heaviness is, but there's wisdom in that heaviness, in that sense of being tired, like let go, stop controlling, because this controlling, this tension, this takes energy, literally. Let go, trust. This is what this heaviness is telling me, and I'm also letting go towards, like, into the gravity of the earth in that moment. I'm just like letting go, and I'm letting my body and the gravity and the earth basically carry me. So you can repeat this formula. You can repeat this many times and exchange the different aspects of the formula. And in that way, you can like start a session for yourself and really get into your body, really get embodied here. And this is the essence of somatic shadow work. You're both doing somatic shadow work. This is a form of active imagination, like you're using your imagination, but you do that without losing touch with your body. You're really becoming embodied. You're really letting the emotion and the archetype and the images flow through you. So try that out for yourself. And I'm really, really curious to how you experience your first somatic shadow work session. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.